Oh, usually I try to go every Monday and Thursday afternoon about around 2 o'clock on both YouTube and Facebook. I still can't get my computer going, so you're a little early on YouTube today, so I appreciate if you come on in here to say hello. Make sure you subscribe and like and hit that little notification bell down there to let me let yourself know when I go live, because obviously it's a little bit sporadic, although I'm sticking to the Monday and Thursday. So I'm just ending up doing 2 crafts. So if you want to see both of my crafts, check it out. I think today over on Facebook, I'm going to be making some t-shirts. I'm hoping to get to a couple of these because my daughters have been begging. So anyway, so come over there. It's Prairie Scraps over on Facebook. I do have a private VIP group that's called Prairie Scraps Chalkin'. Feel free to look me up over there or just look me up in person and talk to me. So today I am going to share with you a little technique for painting and helping make your signs pop on galvanized metal. I recently did a galvanized metal live class, and I did overbuy surfaces, so I've got a bunch left, and I've got a few different donations being asked for auctions in our local area. So I thought I would make a couple of galvanized signs to go in there since I've got them, and they're pretty inexpensive on our site. So they're galvanized, they come like this, and they've actually got the little holes already, so you don't even have to worry about that. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to just share with you some ways to paint on the galvanized metal, because it can be kind of tough because it's a shiny surface. So it can be kind of hard to get it to look to be able to see it. If you've ever painted on galvanized metal before, especially the shiny stuff, you have to be careful. Number one, galvanized metal is kind of sharp around the edges, so do be careful of that when you're using it. But the shiny stuff, if you put your sign on there, it is really difficult to see. So I'm going to show you a technique today just to share with you exactly how to do that. If you want the materials for this, please go ahead and message me or check out my website. I do have the links down below. So anyway, that is what we are going to do. And as you may already know, I'm making 2 baskets. One basket has a coffee theme, and one basket has kind of a it's got, my daughter went out and got the local car dealership to donate a really nice gift certificate for a free oil change. So I'm trying to do car themed basket to go with it. So that is what I am up to with this. The galvanized, I thought it's perfect to go with the car. And I've got an old transfer. It was 2023 May Club Couture transfer. And I know it's hard to see, but it says gasoline. It's got all kinds of words on it. Full service garage, open 24/7. Get your kicks on Route 66, last chance, next service, 100 miles. Anyway, it's got tires, petrol, oils, and then up here it says premium gasoline. I think it's just the cutest little transfer. I loved it. It's one of my favorites. Made a t-shirt for my husband out of it because he's a mechanic at said dealership. So hello, Michael. Good to see you. Hello, Zolt. It is. Good to see you. Please say hello and keep all your comments appropriate, please, so we can stay on the air and keep getting, views, because I'm a small business owner, and obviously it helps me to have views. So I'm going to start out. This is the way that I get my transfers to really pop out nicely, and that is by doing sort of a rough painting over the galvanized metal to start with. So that's what we are going to start with. I've got just like a dried up paste jar, but you can see there's kind of some paste in there, and I'm just going to wet this down with some water so it gets to be more of like a watercolor. So if you haven't used our paste as watercolors yet, oh my gosh, it works out so good because it's water based. But all I'm going to do, and I might have actually jumped the gun a little bit on this one because it is if you put it on, let me show you. If you just wipe it on and you see the bubbles, that means it's kind of on the wet side. You've got too much water added. And so at least that's been my experience. I think that's the reason why there has the bubbles. Because if you get it a little bit, your paste a little bit thicker, it works out just fine. So I'm going to maybe drop off Maybe I'll end up doing 2 coats just to get it really worked in good. So all I'm doing is just making a rough, I want to show the, I do want to show the fact that this is galvanized metal around the edges. So I'm not completely covering this. Let's see if we can get this a little thicker here by grabbing some paint. Maybe that'll help. There, that's better. The thicker the paint is, the less you'll have those bubbles. So learn from me. Learn from me. I'm here to show you all the boo-boos and all the mistakes. And it's really not going to matter. Like, I sort of like the rough, you know, rustic look. Hello, hello. Oh, goodness. Sorry. Yeah, I don't like those comments, so please try to keep it appropriate. I don't know. There we go. All right. Please keep it appropriate. I am doing great. Is it Gabriel? Doing great. Just move on over if you need to, if you feel the need to be not appropriate on my channel. This is a crafting channel. I like to share with you DIYs and how to make some fun, pretty decorations with chalk paste. So that's what we're here for. But I've got all kinds of things that I like to make. I love to make t-shirts and things like that. So whatever, it's the scraps of my life, just kind of using the things in my life. Sometimes we use thrift store finds and repurpose them. That's kind of what this channel is about. And if you can't stay within that, please just move on. Find your own place. Sorry. We are using a galvanized sign, and so you can see here's kind of the first, I haven't dried it yet, first coat on it. And like I said, if I had been a little bit more patient with my paste, it would be a little thicker. So I'm just leaving it open here. I put too much water in it is what I did. And when you're using the bottom of your paste, this is a great reason to save on to those paste jars with the paste in it. Because you can just use the little bits. See, I just put water in it and it kind of reconstitutes my chalk paste. It makes it just a little bit more usable. Use up all the bits and use it down to the bottom, so. You see a piece of paste. Piece of paste. I don't want that all in one spot. Now, I'm going to put this coat down. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to have a little bit of the galvanized coming through, but I'm going for that look. I don't mind that one bit. Actually, that's kind of what I'm looking for. And when I use my transfer on this, I do expect some of it to also peel off with it because this is such a shiny piece of metal that it's going to peel off some of that galvanized metal off of it. Or it's going to, just rip off the chalk paste that I put down just because it's so slippery. Sort of like pasting on glass. I'm just getting this dry, and I'm going to put another coat on here. I'm kind of thinking about using a little bit of brown or black, or probably brown on the edges. Just making it look a little bit aged too, vintagey. There it is. It's getting thicker. I went a little too wild with my water in my paste, getting it watered down. And it definitely kind of bubbled away. So if you ever get that where you paint on a slippery surface and it just sort of bubbles away, it seems to me like it's just that you watered it down a little too much. So give it a dry or give it a couple of coats. That's usually what I do. I'll just wait a little bit, do another coat, and dry that up really good. So actually, now I've got, kind of some chunks on here. So I'm going to put a little bit of, spritz a little bit of water on here to just make it spread out and smooth out here. I don't want to take it off. I'm just trying to get it smoothed out so there's no chunks in the paste. And sometimes if you get something too wet, it does kind of wipe it off. So you have to wait and let it dry and then go over it again. So that also happens. Now what I'm just doing is I'm going around the outside edge and just giving it, you know, sort of a nice looking, I want it to look brushed on, but not like a kindergartner did it. Maybe like a kindergartner. I don't know. Maybe it does look that way. Who knows? I'm not exactly shooting for it to look like a kindergartner, but I do want it to look sort of, you know, not contrived, like it's perfect. We don't want a perfect looking sign. Perfectly imperfect is what we want. All right, I'm going to set that aside, and I don't know. I'm going to put a little bit of water in there, let it soak up. We've still got some water up on the, or white on, up on the side. So let's see if we can find some brown to bring into this. Brown. These are all black. And those are Mod Podge, so we won't be using that. I'll put this in here. Let's see. All right. See if we can find some. Oh, I got it. All right, so this is an espresso color, kind of a darker color. And this is getting kind of chunky and low too, although I'm still full on using this. So I'm gonna go ahead, put a little bit in the lid of it. I'm gonna put you down a little bit so you can see a little better, sorry. So how is your weather today? I'd love to hear what's going on in your life this week. It looks beautiful outside here in Idaho in the United States. And looks are a little deceiving because there's a really high winds going on, and so the winds feel very cold. Must be coming off the mountain. We live right at the base of the mountain. We actually live a little bit up at 3,600 feet above sea level here, and then we have mountains kind of in a horseshoe shape around town. So I'm just gonna bring this in on the outside here. I just want it to kind of dirty it up, if that makes sense. And you could use, like, using vanilla would be a great option. I'm not even dipping into the paste at all. I'm just kind of going around the outside edges. And I'm gonna keep working at it because I don't want it to look like, you know, like a little kid did it. I want it to look like an adult made this. But and I'm going to work on some blending here, so yet. And then I do want to get some throughout so it doesn't look like it's just white in the middle and brown on the outsides. And we're just going to bring it in. I need a little bit more water here to work with. And I'm just sort of bringing it across so it doesn't look all one way. Let me show you that. You see that? There's some rough edges for sure. We're just kind of, oops. Maybe go the other way. Maybe go the other way because it's kind of wiping off some around the edges. So you just want to kind of work with it till you get it in the place where you want it. I'm just working with what I have here. I don't want it to, like I said, I want it to sort of blend together. So I'm going to go towards the outside this round because I'm finding that I'm pushing it towards the inside, but I'm also making some little like see-through spots where I could peekaboo into that galvanized in the middle. So get the brown off of there. There we go. And now we are going to, I think that's going to be good because, like I said, we're going to be going over the top. I do have it kind of wiped off thin on this side. I think it's going to be okay. What do you guys think? So it's a little less shiny. You could still kind of see some of it peeking through. All right. I think we're going to set this aside, dry it up really good because between layers, we want to make sure it gets really dry. And then as we are drying this, I'm going to go ahead and wax the surface. so that we protect this paste. That's not going to completely keep it from peeling when I do the transfer on it, but it will sort of help it along. Ooh, that is really wet. I can kind of see right along here where I've got it's sort of weakened out. If you can kind of see, there's a line down that side. So I'm thinking about running a little bit of white down that side just to kind of cover that up. What I did was I brushed it off when I was doing that brushing. It got a little crazy. So we're just gonna try to patch it in a little bit. I think I'm gonna need my white back again. Need the white back. I like the look of it being pulled this way as far as stripes, strokes of brush, but I don't want it to be pulled off either. So that's what I'm being cautious here about. And I'm just sort of coming over. So go back and forth until you find it. If you're wanting, to blend colors, you can blend colors, or you could just do like one color in the background, knowing that it's not going to be like what the entire piece is going to be about. It's just not. Oops, that one I wiped off. That wasn't good. This corner I keep wiping off accidentally. I don't mean to, and I don't want it to look. Let me show you what I did. Can you see? I really gave that a raw spot, and I don't want that to be raw. I want it to be filled in. So I'm gonna kind of fill it in by dabbing, and then we're gonna dry it, and then I'm gonna do another layer of brushing. And basically what this does is it just makes a background so that because what happens is if you just do the transfer on top with your colors, it's really difficult to see and read the transfer, whatever color. It doesn't really matter what colors you use. I find it's hard to I think it's hard to get it to look right. I'm gonna blend in some more, just kind of bring away your attention from, get some more, just some random darker spots in here. I think this is more pure espresso here, where the rest is sort of blended. I don't know, it's however you like, whatever appeals to your eye. You could do just one solid color. I definitely, a lot of times when I do this, I like to do just solid, like white or off-white. The vanilla color is perfect for this background, and it looks a little bit older. And now we're gonna do our final drying here. Each of those blacks are my black. Got a few of these jars that are kind of low on paste, so sometimes I have to kind of weed them out. And I think we're gonna use some candy apple red. So, Mr. Bunny, not ready for you yet. Go. The great thing about our transfers is you can use them for these transfers, you can use them up 12 times. And the really nice thing about that is you could just over and over and over keep using them. And this is one of those cases where I got this in 1923 as a club transfer. Oh, I'm looking for yellow, and I'm looking at yellow. Do I want, that one's Hey Pumpkin. That one's orange. I must have yellow somewhere else too. I don't know. Don't know what's going on. And I know it seems a little tight here. Ooh, I got a couple places where yellow is. I guess it's because I kind of have these are my full bins and those are not my full bins kind of thing. Because I've been doing live classes. I do have a class going on the end of this month. I'm thinking that one's pretty. Saffron, or do I want maybe Sunny? I don't know. That seems so light. I think Bumblebee would be the best, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure I've got, see how dry it gets, but you can reconstitute all of this super easy by just adding a little bit of water, letting it soak overnight, come back, stir it. Let's see if we can get that kind of worked up there. We'll see. All right. Otherwise, we'll use the saffron. I know that's working. So, there we go. It was like, I don't know what happened to all my yellows, but I forgot I had sorted through things. All right, so we have this pretty dry, and the paste really does dry fast. So the next thing I'm going to do is just do a light coat of our surface wax. And you can use any clear, this is a clear wax. I'm just doing it lightly. A little bit goes a long way, honest to goodness. This is going to kind of bring out those colors a little bit. And it's also going to shine up that. I'm going to put a little bit more on there, I think. I just want to be sure that this is nice and coated because this is going to seal our paste so that it's not going to have as big of a chance of lifting. So this whole piece, if you scratched it, it definitely is going to scratch off because it's got a slippery background. So I'll probably, when this is all said and done, do a clear coat on it just to try to give it a little bit more protection. All right, let's see what we got here. So this one has been very well used. Like I said, I've made a t-shirt, I made a couple of signs. I actually did this on an old can that I found, an old gas can. Just like to take old things and kind of redo them by putting a new fresh look on them. Make them pretty again. And I am going maybe a little bit on the downside of it. These are equally, you know, put on here. So they're, and I'm going to probably work from one end to the next. Try to work, you know, bottom to top or top to bottom so that I can just go ahead and peel it to reveal in between. Because it could, let me see. I know I want this in yellow. And I know I want this in red. So I'm trying to decide maybe this in yellow. And I want the most of it in black, actually. Oh, I say that I'm going to go. I say that I'm going to go from one end to the other, and maybe I won't. We'll just see. We'll see how we go. This one doesn't have much paste in it. It would be a good painter. This one either. I know I have one that's going, so I'm going to put some water. Whenever I open them up and they're dry, try to put some in there. Here we go. I found my black that I can use. These two are kind of empty, but I will use them for the same situation. Of course, I can't get the lid back on, so that one's really gonna. All right, we're gonna set those aside, and we're gonna use black first. And I'm gonna use a small tool so I can get into this and oofta that. There's some little black, like, rustic dots on here throughout this. I'm just gonna go only so far here. Little rustic dots. I'm trying to get those filled in. It's supposed to look like it's an old piece, right? It's got like little dusty dots on it. So I'm just gonna go in here on the black and do the black first. You want to work quickly with paste because you don't want it to dry in the transfer. You want it to stay moist and then peel before it dries. So one of the biggest mistakes I see people do right off the bat is they feel like they have to let it dry in the transfer before they can peel it back. I'm going to come back Not with that, with a mini, maybe. There we go. I don't know, where am I? I know where they are. I'm gonna do the gasoline in black here. Could do it in red too, that would look really nice. Oops, just did the star. And I didn't mean to, I wanted to do the star in yellow. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take off any of the extra that I have on here for this so that it goes back in. We can use that later for another project. I guess I could have just used the mini all along because it seems to be working pretty good. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get that yellow on there. And I'm going to peel from the top to the bottom in this case because that's the portion. I'm going to try to peel slowly because we don't want all that white to come off. And it is partially coming off. Look at that. That is not what I had planned, but it's okay. So here we go. Let me show you that. It's definitely taken a lot of it off, but it's still okay because it's letting it pop out. And of course, it's pretty messy too. Kind of leaked under. This is like I said, this is a really well-used transfer, so that's part of it. It's kind of leaking underneath it. So I'm going to dry this up really good here. And then go back over it. Nothing like watching paint dry. You can fix it, especially on slippery surfaces. You can fix your pasting. If you have little leaks like I have on my G here, you can fix it by scratching it off. And so, can you see that? I've now made it dry, and that G and the E are pretty smeared. And so all I'm going to do is come in here and scratch that off. And try not to scratch off too much of that. You could also use a little bit of wetness if you needed to get that cleaned off. But I'm just going to do a little cleanup. Hopefully it won't be obvious with my painting underneath, because I am also scratching that layer up. So I'm just being really gentle about it. Kind of going with the grain of it. What's over there? I don't know what that is. I'm just gonna, looks like a big dot. All right, that was quite the little leaking under there, but I will show you here in just a hot minute how we clean that up. And I could even come back with a little brush and do a little bit of white and brown, but I don't even think I do see some here too. I don't know. I do remember why I don't use this one very often, because I use this a lot initially. Looks like it kind of has a weird wonky E anyway. Okay, let me show you that. So you can see I fixed that. I don't even think you can tell as much, maybe a little bit. The biggest key is to make it look like a nice even little thing. All right, I'm going to place it down, and I'm going to try really hard not to get black smeared into my premium and into my star, because I can go ahead and go over it. I might actually lift it up a little bit with some water, and we're going to dig on into this again. Oops, making a mess with our black paste here. Come back to my little tool, and this one actually has a pokey end, and it's got like a narrower one than the one I was using. And so I think let's see if we can get some bumblebee. And bumblebee I think would be the perfect color, but I'm not sure I'm gonna get it working here, but I'm gonna try. You can see it's like pretty thick. You want it to be yogurt consistency. I think we're gonna, I don't know, might give that a skip actually. Let that one soak for a few days and come back and check it again. I need to get my yellows going. I noticed that I didn't have much for yellows. All right, so we're gonna use our saffron here. Yep, nice and good. See how the difference is? That's nice. And I'm gonna do this little star here in saffron, and I think I want to do this little sign right there, as long as we're here. And that's kind of far away. So I'm going to take some of this off and try very hard to just do this little premium right here. It always freaks me out when I hear a car pull in next door, because I think it's, who's at my house? But it's next door. It's right up next to my camper. All right. This is the saffron. Take that off slowly. Our little star looks nice, and so does our open 24/7. You see it? It's actually not super bright. But that one also did a little smearing there around the circle, so. This looks actually very cool if you do it all one color too, so you can think about doing that as well. So again, I'll just come in here, that little smear, I'm just gonna take it off and try to go a little bit side to side, because that's kind of how it's peeling off. So we just wanna stay within that. Our little end got a little extra here. Does it with the ease and the ends. I think everything else looks nice and clear. So I'll show you that. And you see it, it's very kind of more dull than I thought it would be. Okay. So we're going to go with that. Put this away. That looks nice. Get our tool cleaned off. I think I'm going to put this away because I've got black everywhere. I'm getting it all over my fingers now. Get my hands clean. So hopefully you guys this is helping you figure out how to, you can use galvanized planters and paste on them. Usually I found though the galvanized planters aren't as bright. So those are not as hard to chalk on, in my opinion. All right, and then because I used a darker yellow, I think I'm gonna go with a darker red as well. Actually, might go with this one. It's pomegranate. It's kind of it's not as bright. Just a little less bright. All right, we're gonna do this middle. Get it down, get all the bubbles out. Try to make sure it's sticking down really nicely when you do this. And then we're gonna do this full service as well in the, maybe we won't. That's terrible. Darn it. Having a bad day with, let's see. Nope, that's pretty hard. Sometimes if you push a little, that one's pretty dried up. So we're gonna set that aside as well. I think I just need to make a line of them that I need to work with. We're getting, of course, nobody wants to buy new paste when you've got so many jars. Maybe this one, Napa. Or I could use cherry. That would be the other one. Jolene has shiny in it. I think we'll stick with this. Oh, where my cherry is. All right, I'm gonna use a mini again. See how that works out. There we go. And I want to get this right here. So we're gonna do that first. This was, it almost looks purple. It's called Napa. It's kind of like a deep burgundy, but it does have a little bit of a purple, I think, purple hue to it. A little bit interesting color. But we want this to stand out. So we're just gonna, and I wanted to do this one over here too. Hopefully that was pressed down without too many bubbles in it. Okay. It says last chance. Get that done. This was a little thicker than I thought it was. It looked nice and loose, but maybe not so much. Okay. And the other part where I have pasted, I didn't want to press too hard. You don't want it pressed down in those areas because you don't want to peel it back up again. Again, it, could, let's see how this looks. Maybe I'll leave this and come from the bottom this time. Cute, 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 cute. Last chance. next service, 100 miles, for full service. And then I think I'm going to do this one in yellow. And then maybe just do the rest in black. What do you think? Does that look cute? Cute, cute, cute. Love it. Put this dried up. And it does, you know, you could definitely see where it's peeling up all of that background, but it also is keeping a certain amount of it there. So that's kind of the cool thing about it. We're going to put, and when you paste over the top of it, it's definitely like giving it a little bit more. I almost forgot to do this little yellow right here. So we'll do that. There we go, right there. And then I'll be getting over to the, I'm going to do the yellow in these spots here too. I maybe should have done that. I don't know. I might go over that. Get that in black. Kind of get that black mixed in. Could also do, I don't know. I think, there we go. I think brown is the newest black because I've been using black for everything in the past. And boy, I do love brown too. So the brown, that espresso would have looked really sharp with this too. I'm going to peel that back just really gently. You can kind of see, oops, that one did not go very well. So we are going to put it back down right away and just go ahead and try to get that in, really press it into the letters there and see if we can't get that fixed. What I think happened was, I'm going to pull this all the way back and then wipe the back side with my wipe because I think the white peeled off and I think the Route 66 is pretty good. I'm just going to do the little letters there over again because I think my white background sort of popped up with it. Okay, put that back down real quick. And then we're going to add some more paste to it, our mix here, and just try to do those letters again because I think it filled up with the white in the first peel. I should have just, oops, put that back in. Should have done that yellow right away. I don't know, that one's just not showing up very well. Okay, here we go. We're going to do the rest of it in black. That yellow just is not, it's not showing up great. I'm a little tempted to go over it with black, to be honest. We might cover the yellow. I might change my mind on all of it just yet. If you wait long enough, you will get to see me correct things. You know, nothing ever turns out perfect. Nobody's perfect. And so, you know, sometimes we amend our ways. It's always an adventure when you're crafting. But nothing is a mistake when you're crafting. It just means that you have to make another plan. Try something new out. Okay, we're going to do the black. I'm going to get another new. And I actually think I'm going to go over all the yellow. I'll leave the premium and the star with black. I'm going to go for it. We're just going to cover up some of these areas. I don't think the yellow turned out as nicely as I would have liked. So I'm going to try to mend my ways here. I'm going to take off some of these. There's a little bit of cakiness on there. All right, here we go. Here goes nothing, right? As they say. I'm going to go over that yellow with my black and just hit it all. Hopefully we can get this done nicely. Oops, that didn't stick at all right there. So I'm going to go away from it with my paste on my fingers. Oops. I did get the paste all over my surface too. It's a good thing it's washable. It's all water soluble. You just never know. It's going to be okay. All right, we're going to go up the sides here. Just go ahead and get it. My ideas for going all kinds of different colors, I feel like just did not pan out this time. And and that's okay. We'll amend our ways. But like I said, the best way to, like, I think on galvanized to make things pop is to put a little bit of background first, knowing that the background may not stay on there. So it probably will kind of pop off, you know, it will come off. All right, we should be pretty good. I don't want it to dry too much, so we're just gonna go over this one last time, make sure we got all the goopies off. I was leaving that alone because it's kind of thick, but all right, let's see what we did. Okay, those letters look nice. Nice, nice. And that does look better, I think. I think the black over the top definitely looks better. What do you guys think? I think the red looks kind of okay. A little bit of yellow. That looks good. We did it. Okay, and like I said, before I get this into the basket with the oil changes, I will go ahead and do a clear coat, probably just do a Rust-Oleum spray, and I will use a little twine to make the string on this. I've got paste everywhere here, so I'm trying not to get it on everything. But there you go. What do you think? We have a little droopy here. I guess around the up. I kind of knew these edges were not getting clean, so we'll clean those up with a little drying. And I hope you have a very blessed day. Make sure that you go ahead and keep on crafting and do all the things for me. Have a great day.